Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
And my favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered Podcast.
And Rossi.
All right. Hey there, everyone. It's Curly here, and welcome to episode 176 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered Podcast. We've got another great show for you tonight, another great guest. We're really looking forward to this. There's been some chat amongst the boys on some of the music that we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm intrigued to see what Braggy comes out with, to be honest. So, but before we
it had me stumped.
Before
doing his head in.
It did. I had to phone around the world. I'll explain later.
Yeah, he will explain, and it's a good thing, Sienna. So please welcome our very special guest, Siena Larsson from Brisbane. She's been writing and singing since, she can't remember when she wasn't writing and singing. And, of course, we got the two boys in Braggy from Adelaide and Rossi from Sydney. How are we all?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Happy to be here. What a great way to spend an evening. Chatting all things music.
You say that now. You say that now.
Yeah, well, it's yet to come.
All right. So Braggy was mentioning off air to our listeners that the boys are starting a footy comp amongst themselves this year for both codes.
I thought that's what we might do, Curly. I thought it'd be fun. It's a little fun side thing to do.
Yeah. The only concern that I would have, of course, is that Braggy's going to organise it, Rossi. So is that a penalty for us every single week? I don't know.
What's that mean? Sienna, they pick on me here.
I want transparency. Transparency.
Yeah, I'm sure that he will be honest. Now, a couple of little pieces of news before we get going. Of course, it's three Queenslanders against one again tonight. So Sienna's from Brisbane, Braggy's Townsville, and Curly's from Brisbane. Rossi, and you had a weekend filled with Queenslanders.
I had Queenslanders overrunning me.
And how do you feel now? For the better, I'd say.
Oh, look, we had a really good time. Our old buddy Mick Majuv drove down to met him in Newcastle, did a show in Newcastle, and then we drove down, we did a show in Sydney, but in between that I did a pocket watch show as well in between on Saturday. So one band came off stage at 7:45, and the other band in Newtown. I had to rip the stage gear off, get that going, and the other band was on stage at 8:30 in Marrickville.
Wow. Okay.
How far between Newtown and Marrickville?
3-4K, but like stripping the stage gear off, getting packed up, running out the door, get the car, drive down, get there, run out.
You know what the traffic's like? Traffic's like in the capital city, Braggy.
In Parramatta Road.
Yeah.
And then run straight on stage and play for another 45. Then it was just like squeeze. So but Mick was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good to hear.
Mick and Ursula were hilarious. We ended up at the I-94 bar on Sunday all day, which is like the barman's headquarters of this record label, and we had a barbecue and a long debrief long into Sunday evening, I must say.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And a big shout out to our guest from last week, waiting for Brenda Lee Kelly. What a great show that was, guys. It was just so much fun. What a delightful guest.
Well, Brenda's actually mates of Mick and all these guys as well. So they were telling me stories about her, actually. I wish I'd known that before because I could have really made her feel uncomfortable.
I'm glad you didn't know that before.
So two little bits of news. Also, Allison Asarch is from Nashville, has got her new single, Souvenirs of Love, coming out on this Friday, Braggy. And what a great little song that one is.
Oh, it's a cracker.
Yeah,
That's a very well written song, country song. I love it.
Yeah, and
There's something like a bit of country music.
she's in our mind changing the what's the word, evolving country music again. So, and Sienna, I don't know if you're very much the pop girl based on the music, but it's interesting the way country sort of morphed all these genres and whatnot. So very
Taylor's pretty, may as well say she's pop, really, isn't she?
Yeah, but I think the sense is what's big on country music is the storytelling, which I think Taylor does, and I definitely do a lot. Like all my songs are very story based and lyrically driven. And I think, I feel like my songs, in the production process could very easily mesh into the country scene. And
absolutely.
I heard a bit of that in it, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels a bit like that when I write, because I always play like acoustic guitar and stuff. So they always start out like a little folky and a little country. And so I'm like, I should do like a stripped back, like acoustic version. And
the only difference is a hat. There's a hat, really.
And the boot. But before we get...
Best,
So before I'm going to pull the reins back on the boys,
Sorry.
There's just one more piece of news, and that's Adele Oliver, the young lady from the Kimberleys out there on WA. We'll be on the show next week, but she's released a new song as well called Home Tonight, and it's she's described it as a typical driving song, and the video that goes with it is a drive from the Kimberleys to Broome or something. So it's really quite spacious. So Adele's joining us again next week on the show, and if you remember back to the episode we did with Adele, she was traveling from the Kimberleys to Tamworth. So I want to hear about that journey. I want to hear about the stops, and I want to hear about the gigs along the way. So it should be a great show.
One more little piece of news. Sorry, Curly. You sent it to me. You sent it to me. Sweet Talk coming to Adelaide.
Oh,
playing at the Grace Emily.
Yeah.
And as listeners would know, they were my prediction for the breakthrough artists from last year or year before.
Yeah. Have you got your ticket, Braggy?
They're on the night before I have to leave to drive to Queensland. So I'm trying my hardest to get there to the Grace Emily, which is a cool little pub. So I think so.
Yeah. So
that sounds like perfect timing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Just channel Rossi, because Rossi would make that happen.
I'll just get it.
Yeah. Never say die.
Welcome, Sienna. I'm going to pass you over to Braggy, because we always kick off the interview or the chat with our artists with Braggy.
Amazing. Well, thanks for having me, guys. This is so fun.
That's good. Well, it's good to have you. Okay, Sienna. When was the first time, your voice is incredible, when did you first realise that you had that voice, or when was music become a thing for you? When was the first time it appeared in your subconscious?
I think that I have two sisters, so I've got an older sister and a younger sister, so I'm the middle one. And ever since we've been very, very little, we've sort of just grown up watching all the Disney movies and all the Barbie movies and all the singing and the songs. So we've sort of been singing and making up our own little performances and dances to these songs ever since I can remember. And then when I started in primary school, I just started doing a few little lessons, and I ended up sort of leading the school, the primary musical and the senior musical and all the stuff all the way through, and the choirs. And I was like, this is really fun. I really like this. And I sort of just started, I think I'd sort of wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, I've got a song. And I had this book, and I just scribble down little things I'd think of, or I'd be like hanging out the washing and I'd be like, oh, song. And I just, and look, if they were any good, beats me. But I always have little things popping up in my head, little lyrical phrases and melodies and stuff. And then I sort of started actually doing some performing. And every time I got on stage, I was like, this is just the best feeling ever. And so I just sort of, went along that. And I was lucky because my parents were very supportive growing up. So they put me in all like the Stedfords and all the musicals and all the stuff. And I was just having the time of my life, really.
Right.
But when you strip back, like we've listened to your songs and we'll talk about that a bit more. But you're saying that you start like just a voice, guitar. Is that how you write?
Yeah.
Just strip it all back and play guitar. And then you build this up. or when it gets into the production stage, it grows into what it becomes. But it's your voice and a guitar in the simplest fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. It always starts like I'll usually just either start with a little like acoustic like strumming pattern and then just sing and just improv and see what happens. And that's where I usually come up with most of my lyrics and melodies like on the spot. And then obviously we'll refine it and stuff later. But yeah, it's just those times when I'm sitting alone and like just got the guitar but it's cool to sort of take it into the studio and then use production to sort of take it into a place that I'm feeling at the time and go, okay, maybe it was started off like this sort of sad girl anthem, but then maybe it's more like maybe I want it to be more upbeat and poppy and, or vice versa kind of. So it's cool to sort of be able to switch it up a little and change it based on the production.
Sad girl anthem. I heard what you said there.
Yeah.
Listen to the lyrics. There's a very pointed nature to some of the lyrics, which is the strength, the superpower of every songwriter, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, I think like music has always been like, I like to say it's like free therapy. You listen to something and it's like if you relate to it or you connect with it, you feel heard and you feel seen. And so, yeah, growing up when I'd hear songs, I'd be like, oh, yes, that's exactly how I feel. I've always just wanted to make that for other people. And sometimes, when I'm in the right mood, I find myself singing along to my own song. I'm like, yeah, this is right.
So you gotta love your own stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's taken a while for me to get there as well, I think. But you got to be your own biggest fan. Like, if you're not, then
yeah, 100%. Are you trained like within the vocal stuff? Are you doing your Stedfords and whatnot? And I've seen a couple of little things on YouTube with you. So have you been trained to sing, or is this a natural gift?
I think, to be honest, I think I started off with sort of a bit of a natural gift for it, which I'm very lucky that I love it so much and that I sort of had that natural talent. But I definitely work hard and train consistently as well. So I work with different vocal teachers, and I have over my last 10 or so years, I've been sort of training with different vocal teachers and a year of classical voice at the University of Queensland, and recently trained with one of the former 10 tenors. So I've been like working with some vocal instructors.
I mean, I would say that you, and I don't know what the other boys would, if they would agree with me, and I don't want to offend any of our other guests, but I would say you had the most purest voice we've ever had on this, and 176 episodes. Rossi.
That is so nice. Thank you so much. I'm lucky because I love it.
It's Ariana Grande. I get that kind of
stuff. You make me blush.
Well, no, like I said before we came in, I don't understand why you're not a pop star yet, because it's a good product, Rossi.
I don't know either. I don't know, Rossi. Call someone.
Do something, Rossi. Help out.
Yeah. Oh, if only. Look, what I'd say is that, like, just on what Sienna's saying about vocal coaching, that it's something that everyone should do if they're not doing it, if they want to sing. And even if it's like for the low-hanging fruit you can pick up from getting some proper coaching, proper training is incredible. But in longevity, if you want a long-term career, you need to look at vocal health, you need to look at sustainability, you need to know how to look after yourself, you need to know a lot of stuff. It's a really interesting documentary about the band called The Darkness, and Justin Hawkins, the singer, has got one of the most incredible vocal ranges and vocals. But he had, he nearly lost it. He's nearly lost his entire voice, and like he's spoken about it widely about the amount of vocal coaching and work and changing to his technique. Everyone picks up bad technique, and until you go and see people who know what they're doing, you're gone. I know, like Gus he's got an ENT and he's had the same vocal coach like Sienna. Angus has had the same vocal coach for 14 years.
Wow.
And you've got to do that stuff. If you don't, you'll never survive. And I think and you can hear lots of famous people over the years in their career that when they've got famous, then all of a sudden their vocal changes because someone's given them the advice and sent them to get proper coaching. Like even James Hetfield, he would go to a cantor. He went to a Jewish cantor.
Wow.
And learn how to sing vocally. You see Hetfield singing like that. So like you've got to do it. And it makes such a difference. And I could tell too. I could absolutely tell.
Yeah, it really isn't. It's really a non-negotiable. And I think part of the reason why I sort of I do have sort of a unique sound, and I think it's because of the training that I've had, and I've done a lot of musical theatre training, and then I did jazz training, and then I did classical, and now moved into the sort of contemporary, and I've sort of been singing contemporary the whole way through, but having all those different areas, especially classical music, it's just a whole different, you really have to have a whole different way of holding yourself and singing, and so sort of bring that back. I've been able to sort of vary the tone based on kind of what I want, to vary the techniques I'm using as well, I guess, which is very cool. But
and you see that, or you hear that in the songs. You've got such a wide range of vocal styling within an individual song, and you're sort of thinking, my God, it blows you away, to be quite honest, that, at one stage it's almost like your typical rock chick, and then you're sort of reaching into the higher reaches of, as you can tell, I know nothing about what I'm talking about, but except
that's not true, Curly.
No, that's not true at all.
Except it's noticeable to the punter that there's a lot of work that's been done on the voice for you to almost effortlessly bridge the differences or the different styles that you're putting out in the songs.
It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to sound like it's easy, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, your voice is an instrument. Like George Michael, he was renowned for being able to just switch to whatever he wants. And his voice, and
I think it's such a huge part of sort of telling the story too. I think your different your voice can have the different tones represent your different emotions, and there's just things that have to be sung with more punch and more grit, and then there's things that have to have that sort of light, airy, backed off sort of sound, and sort of to be able to move through that
Disney style.
Yeah.
There's your influences. Yeah.
Well, literally, and musical theatre as well. Like it's all in there.
Who are the people you listen to, and people you'd cite as influences? Where's it all sort of stem from? Who are the people that you'd really go, yeah, that's the one?
Well, I've definitely got some key ones, but as a whole, I listen to everything and everyone. I'm so broad, and I love all different types of music. But I think probably like my biggest influences would be like Maisie Peters and JP Sachs. If you've heard of him, he's a beautiful Canadian artist. And he works a lot with Julia Michaels as well, who's an American girl, and but all just really beautiful lyrics, like tell such a story and say things so uniquely and come up with like concepts that are just so specific but fit so many different stories, I think, and everyone can sort of find themselves in everything that's said, which is really nice. So I think lyrically probably that, but then I think also like Sabrina Carpenter, that sort of pop vibe I'm really loving, obviously, and I don't know, a little bit of Olivia Rodrigo, sort of Dua Lipa in some of the pop stuff I'm doing, and Kelsey Ballerini I'm in love with. She's phenomenal. If you've heard of her, she's a great country artist. But so there's a bit of everything in there.
I take it they didn't plan the 80s. I'm just sitting here befuddled by those names. I'm sorry.
I suspect some of them weren't born in the 80s, Curly.
I suspect the same thing.
They're all fairly modern, but also I think for me, obviously I've known them for a long time, but I think they're still fairly unknown in terms of a global name. Obviously people know like Sabrina Carpenter and Dua Lipa and such, but some of the artists I really idolize are still quite small.
Julia Michaels is more of is as much a songwriter and does a lot of collabs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, she does heaps. I think she writes for people as well.
Yeah, that's where the money is.
Is that what you'd want to do, Sienna?
I would love to do that as well. I think performing is really important to me, so that would be to write and perform would be the dream. But if I could do anything in sort of the writing area, I wouldn't know myself. Like being a lyricist would be phenomenal, because that's just where I love.
That's a good segue to the lyrics. So let's think about the latest one, Convenient. I really like how you're. I like how you're a package deal, and you.
I know.
And you're convenient.
It
seems to be a pattern.
I do marketing.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what. One of the lyrics I like straight up out of out of Convenient because I can relate to that. And you wouldn't think that a 60-year-old guy could relate to these songs because obviously you're in your 20s, I'm assuming, and you're writing about relationships and growing up and, you know, going to nightclubs and stuff. But I was that age once. But I just like this song Convenient because it reminded me a lot of, I've been married for 37 years. It reminded me a lot of what my wife says to me sometimes. Like, you almost bought me flowers. I think that's a fantastic lyric because there's a couple of times where I'm like, oh shit, it was our anniversary. Not the big the other thing that I had a misheard lyric when I first listened to that song.
Oh yeah,
because I'm a big sport nut, so I'm always watching the sport, and I'll get focused on that, and then everything else goes away. And I originally thought you said, "You only need me when it's halftime."
I do say that. I do say that.
I thought it was you only need me when you have time.
Halftime is the first two, and then the last one is half.
You said halftime. Brilliant! I love it. You're brilliant.
What sort of sport was you watching?
Football, soccer, I guess.
Because that I can relate to those two anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good song. It kicks along that song.
That's a great song.
Kind of universal experiences, but that almost bought you flowers is that was the whole song was built around that line because I went into the studio with my producers that I'm working with, and they're like, what are we writing about? And I was like, you know when a guy's like, oh, I almost bought you flowers, and you're like,
and so romantic.
What do you want me to say? And they were like, oh, yeah. They're like, yeah, okay. And I was like, let's do this. It needs to be about this. And so we started sort of with that and then built from there. But I feel like, unfortunately, it's kind of a universal thing. But I've definitely had...
mere males, that's all we are.
No, I've had...
You don't call. You're working late, you'll make time. I just have to wait. I get used to going places alone. I make plans so I can fit you in. Almost bought me flowers, such a gentleman. I get used to letting it go. You only love me when you need me. You only need me when you have time. You only love me when it's easy, convenient. You're lonely in the dead of the night. You only miss me when you want me. You only want me when you have time. You only love me when you're needy. You choose me, but only on the days you decide.
I've definitely had the boys be like, oh, well, I was going to buy you flowers today. And I'm like, but you didn't. So
it's almost a bit of a polite Alanis Morissette.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I feel like I guess these kind of things. There's definitely a crossover with like trying to be honest and real, and also trying to be polite and not say the wrong thing or hurt people's feelings and all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, it's a fine line. I think
go for it.
You gotta
go on.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I consider myself a little bit of a people pleaser, so I do struggle with it. But I'm like, no. I'm like, do you think Sabrina Carpenter feels bad when she releases a song? And I'm like, no.
2 words, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, payback, baby.
100%.
We want.
I've got a mate who's been writing songs for 40 years, and I reckon I know every girl that every song's written about.
Yeah, my friends are like that. Whenever I play shows, they're like, oh, no, that's about.
Yep.
But like, don't write a song
everybody
about
will do that.
Well.
But it's the ultimate revenge. You always can get them, and they don't get the right reply.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And
it's like, if you have to tell me not to write a song, then I'm going to write a song, you know?
That's right.
And Sienna, Convenient went to #1 on the ABAC charts.
It did. very, very, very exciting.
Wow.
A huge indie chart that's a global, but based in New York City. And yeah, it got onto the list I think it debuted at 53 and then just worked its way up. And it was amazing sort of watching it climb. And I had a lovely interview with the CEO of Reg Music, and he was saying you had he said the largest portion of your votes, you got all votes across all 45, I think, out of 52 states. And he's like, you're extremely popular in Canada. Canada is where you got most of your votes from. And then 45 out of the states were just loving you. And I was like, that's so exciting. So
Yeah, it is.
Which is huge. So
that's great. Do they have a like a little, I don't know, end of year party thing where you could get to go there? And
that's the dream. That's the dream. Oh, look, I don't know. I'm hoping to get over there at some point because I'd love to sort of set up a little sort of tour, I guess, work out the places where I was, most streamed and the people are liking the music, and set up something with a local support act and maybe play a little tour of some sort. So I'm hoping the guys at A Break can help me pull something together. But yeah, it was just amazing to sort of have that, I guess, as small Australian artists, just sort of I'm making this music and I'm playing like local shows, and I'm like, I seem to be getting good feedback, but it's hard to know. You're sort of like, okay, are people liking what I'm doing? Are people hearing it? But so to have that sort of recognition from, America was, it's so exciting.
So how do the shows work for you? Like, I'm torn two ways. I want to talk to you about your production process, but since you mentioned, I'm interested in like your shows. How do they work? Do you play solo shows acoustic, or do you have a band, or what do you do?
So I do both. At the beginning of last year, I would put together a band. So bass, lead guitar, I play rhythm guitar, and then drummer, of course. And so I do a lot of different band shows. I played my first headline show last year, which sold out, which was very exciting in Brisbane. But I still do heaps of like acoustic shows as well, and I'm doing a few of those next month, which will be really exciting. But then I get the full band in when I'm doing big supports and things like that. So, but yeah, they're great. They're such a good team to work with. So we have so much fun on stage, and I think the more you play together, the more you're like, yeah, and you get into the vibe and you know what you're doing, and yeah, it's really cool. Because I wanted to put a band together ever since I started playing. So to actually get on stage and have the gang behind me and loving what I'm doing and feeling part of it, and it's so cool. Pop star dream.
I guess, so to swing around, have you had those guys play on the record, or do you use different people on your recordings?
So I play on some of my recordings, and I've had a couple of guys come in and play other things, not those guys, because it's mostly it's sort of hard to explain. Yeah, it's produced. A lot of it's like MIDI instrumentation and things like that. So like a lot of it's not live recorded. Some of it is, but I had a great friend of mine, Connor Boothman, record some acoustic guitar. So he did the acoustic guitar on my latest track, and then he did Useless Information as well. He did the.
He played the guitar on that?
He did, yeah. He did the lead, which was beautiful. Yeah.
That's what. The lead, right? What about the acoustic guitar? The start.
I played the acoustic guitar.
You've got a question about that, haven't you, Bragg?
Oh, man, I've got massive questions about that. I had brain pain from that today, because that guitar, I don't know what timing the guitar is. I finally figured out the song's in 4/4. That guitar is not. How did that all, what happened there? Am I right?
Oh,
here we go.
We are ready?
Yeah, it's just not right. It's not right timing. It's right timing, but it's
quirky.
It's just that literally the whole time.
I'm hearing something else there. Then maybe it's.
There's a lot of like cute little like some lead bits underneath.
Lots of melodic jumps and pieces coming around, but I could tell there's a lot of MIDI stuff in there, and it kind of sounded very, look. I think it sounds really polished to my ear. I can hear a really.
have all this useless information, the things you used to say and the crazy shit you've done. And I have now more inside my head, 'cause all of it is filled with you instead. Do you still put 2 sugars in your coffee? Do you still drive late at night when you feel lonely? Do you still keep my photo in that wallet that I bought you? 'Cause I still keep your ring, but I don't want to. I have all this useless information.
Here, like a really, the production on it is really, very modern. It's really modern sounding production, which is where you want to be as a young person.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling at the moment. I did a lot of live studio recordings and stuff during uni, and I've done a lot of that before, which I also really do love. But at the moment, I'm happy doing the pop studio thing. But yeah, if I was going to get live recordings in, I'd get the band because they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think it's my most interesting track, for sure. Out of the 3 ones from this year.
What was that?
I think Useless Information is my favourite. It's the most
really
interesting track. Out of the 3, yeah. For me, it's just really interesting. It's just a weird rhythm, and the backing. There's like a kick drum in the backing it's not the same all the way through. I just find it really interesting, the whole thing. I don't know if you did, Rossi, if you really listened to it. It's out there.
It's not really. It's not really.
And I struggled because of the guitar. I thought it doesn't sound like that's in 4/4. And then when you got to the lead break, I thought, I can count 4/4 there. So I really like when songs do that to me. I think that's just great because it makes me think
good.
As well as
Yeah, I loved writing that one because, I think when you first start music, there's all these rules and of the way things should be, and everyone's giving you this advice about the way things need to be done. And then I sort of started writing that song, and I was like, I've just got these words and I need to say all of them, and I don't want to try and fit a chorus that's the same back in and back in. I just want to say the words. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do that. And it was a bit different. I was like, some people won't resonate with it, and some people will think it doesn't have a structure and it's this and that. But it was, it meant a lot to me, that song, because I was like, I just have things to say, and they need to be said in this song.
That's good.
But yeah, I'm so glad you like it. That's really nice to hear. Yeah.
So you've got 3 songs here from 2024.
Yes.
As we always talk about this on the show, whether you just gonna keep releasing singles, or is there something bigger? Is there EP? Is there an album?
There is an EP coming. Yeah, it's just very exciting. I've been hard at work.
Next question. How many songs on the EP?
Hang on, it's in a small album. Here we go.
Oh, that's a great question. There will be 7.
Ooh. It's a mini album.
It's a mini album.
Yay, nay? I don't know. There will be 7.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's going to be, well, look, it's not announced yet, but it's going to be the package deal EP. So it's going to include package deal and then the ones I released this year, and but I've got a new song coming in the beginning of March, which is very exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that is exciting. Can I ask a question about Collateral Damage?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you seem to have a theme with some of your writing, and what was it? Sad Girl Anthem. So what's the backstory to Collateral Damage?
The backstory, I wrote that song when I was in college, and I was just completely in love with this boy, and I don't think he really loved me back. But he sometimes did and sometimes didn't. And so it was sort of like he was on this push and pull, and I was on sort of this push and pull with someone else. And it was just, it sort of realized this dynamic. Like I remember I came home from one of the bars and there was this guy I sort of liked, but I really liked this guy and he was kind of flirting with me. And I was like, okay, I'm sort of half in, half out with this guy and he's half in, half out with me. And we're both sort of hurting each other. And I was like, it's so interesting because we're all just, but you can't really be mad at anyone because we're all just trying to find a person, you know?
Trying to work it out.
Does that mean
I really shouldn't call you. You're not who I want. I wish you made me happy, 'cause you're all I've got. And trust me, I know better. Don't think you're right for me, but I'm clinging to the chance this is right, but I should set you free. I shouldn't dance with you, but your hands around my waist is something you and I got used to. And although it seems I always choose you first, we all become collateral damage in someone else's search. We all become collateral damage. We all become collateral damage.
Does that mean
kick him to the curb?
Does that mean the package deal is kind of like part 2 to that?
Oh, package deal is a whole another kettle of fish.
That's a whole. Sorry.
I want to hear this. Dish, come on.
I've released them in the wrong order because package deal is actually part 2 for the song I'm about to release now, which has taken me. Yeah, which has taken.
I can't wait to hear that now.
Yeah, that's it. Forget sad girl anthems. This next one's a bad bitch anthem. So.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
Sienna, we need film clips now.
I know. Well, I've got look, I'd love to do that. It's not off the cards. Maybe not for this one, but I've got a few things in the works. But I've got some very cool visuals for this next song, which is very, very exciting. So, but yeah, it's sort of package deal is sort of like I've been burnt.
That's part 2 to the next one.
Yeah, but this song coming is I got burnt. So.
See, the whole album could be like a cereal. Like in conflict, you know, you put one up and you go.
Where's convenience sit in the narrative?
I don't know. Convenient is kind of. I think convenient is sort of an overall because I think it kind of sums up a lot of maybe situationships or a lot of little relationships people have had here and there, and it's sort of not any one thing, you know. It's sort of just what I've noticed from my relationships and my own and my friends and the things that we're all experiencing. It's kind of just because it's not really about any one thing, but kind of about
Look,
it's all like into a package.
We pride ourselves Unfiltered and Undiscovered as being the media hothouse training ground for a lot of emerging artists.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
It's open to you to interpret it how you want. I can't really tell you what it's about. That's kind of the answer you need to give them.
I know. I'm like, I forget we're recording. I was actually your names here.
I'm going to say one thing, and you're probably going to have a laugh about this, but based on your music that's come out to date, I reckon we've got a Broadway musical sitting here.
Yeah.
That follows some of the, you've got the storyline, and then you can put them in the right order.
Because
the
musical's called Bad Bitch.
Bad Bitch.
What ideas, man?
I mean, I love the idea of musical theatre, and my younger sister is in musical theatre, and my older sister is an actress, and so we've got the whole show going on. Really,
it's the greatest of art forms.
It's so fun. Well, we're all so creative, so like doing all this music, like I'm not doing it alone, you know. And so it's like I'll get my photos together and I send it to the girls, and I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? And then they've got good creative vision, and yeah, it's really, really nice. Yeah.
So I mentioned to Sienna before we went live that she's one of the first artists that we've spoken to that has a LinkedIn profile. She's also on the IMDb database, so she has appeared in some Baz
Luhrmann.
Yeah, shows and movies.
Which ones?
I was in Australia.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then they,
I love that film.
that was a great film.
it's a great movie, isn't it? They did really, really well.
It got bagged. What I reckon the problem was is they marketed it as this serious sort of Gone with the Wind style epic, when in fact it was a really sweet love story comedy.
Yeah.
Such a good film.
It was
Really
funny
good
too.
film.
They did it really well, the whole thing, every
I loved
aspect.
it. I loved it.
Yeah, and
Really
when I
good
was in
film.
that movie, I was quite young, and I remember watching it and going, "That's awesome."
It was. It really, really
If
was.
even young baby me loved it, then I think you've got a winner on your hands.
And what other ones?
They turned it into a series, so it's just Australia, but then they turned it into Faraway Downs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Go to the Farm. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that, but with the extra cuts, because they had so much extra footage from the film, so they
Baz
turned
is-
it into a series.
Baz is
Love
brilliant.
Baz.
He's
Baz
brilliant.
is good. Yeah, he's good.
He's brilliant. Yeah, and the amount of just being on set. My whole family was actually in the movie, which is very cool.
Wow.
So it was filming up in the Whitsundays where we were living at the time, and my dad actually got called up and was on set for a little time, and he's very outgoing and very friendly, and became friends with Baz and the casting directors and all the crew. And we were up having lunch at this little local cafe, and Baz was sitting there with one of his team, and Dad went, "Oh, come over," and he brought us all over, and he said, "Oh, these are my girls." And Baz met us all, and he was like, "Oh, you girls in the movie yet?" And we were like, "Oh, no, but we would love to be." He's like, "Okay, leave it to me." And then on Monday morning, we all got a call up, and we were this little family sitting on the tender boat as Nicole arrives into the harbour. And we shot for weeks, and then they flew us to Sydney to do extra shooting inside the studios and Fox Studios, and then we went to the Sydney premiere.
That's
amazing.
great.
Walked the red carpet with Nicole Kidman and Bill Hunter, Hugh Jackman.
Bill
Was
Hunter.
that?
Oh yeah, he's a great actor, isn't he?
He's
Was
great,
that filmed at Bowen as well?
It was.
Bowen.
Yeah.
A lot of it was shot. A lot of it was shot in Bowen. Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be the capital of Queensland when wasn't it, Braggy? You'd know your history there.
Nah, I don't think so. You know, Charters Towers was one of the biggest bloody places in Queensland back in the day. It had more pubs. It had 50 pubs.
Yeah.
And how big are they compared to Sydney, fellas?
It had the first stock exchange in Australia, Charters Towers. We're digressing though.
History. First off.
Educational as well.
So you know how last week I said we need to find a country town that people aren't doing much with and turn it into our own version of Nashville. Maybe it's Charters Towers.
Well, they already have a country music festival there.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
talking
maybe it's
year
Bowen
round.
then.
Bowen's got these wide streets. It's an amazing little. Yeah,
it's perfect for a good music festival. And
down at Queen's Beach there. Down at Queen's Beach.
Yeah.
Oh.
Horseshoe Bay.
Horseshoe Bay.
Yeah. Mangoes. What else do you need?
We've got it all figured out. We've got a serial. We've got a musical coming out. Filmed in Bowen.
Literally. No, it was just the whole thing was really cool and very fortuitous how it all happened. And I just from there we were in Sydney, and it was amazing, and ended up sort of catching the creative bug, I guess, and sort of went on and met with different agents and stuff, and just all went from there.
So you've been
So
to
at the
Sydney,
moment-
but you went back to Queensland. How's that happen?
What was that, sorry?
You've been to Queensland, but you went to Sydney, but you went back to
Yes,
Queensland.
so I
Why
was
would you
living
want to do
up
that?
Well, bit of everything. So we were up in the Whitsundays, and then we were on the Gold Coast for a while, and then we were in Sydney because we were filming and stuff, and we got to know a lot of different agents and We're with a few different performing arts companies and ended up doing a couple of tours overseas to the US and performing and dancing and singing and all that kind of stuff, which was very, very cool, and lived over there for a while and then came back onto the Gold Coast, back into Melbourne for a bit, back up to it Sundays and now Brisbane. It's all happening.
And so I see you got a lot of gigs around Brisbane, up in the rooftop bars and stuff.
Yeah.
Any gigs anywhere else, like going to Rossi's, you venturing into Rossi's territory in Sydney?
So look,
or
that's
probably a bit too classy for Sydney.
Oh, you're kidding.
I love it. I'd love to do a little sort of it's on the cards this year. I'm looking into planning something because I would love to tour the new EP and do a small little East Coast tour when that happens. So absolutely Melbourne and Sydney will be. I actually have like a few fans I get reached out to from there going, "Oh, come to Melbourne, I want to see you play," which is really, really nice. So yeah, I'd be keen to do that, but nothing planned just yet. It'd be after the EP drops and I'll go on tour with that, which will be cool. So yeah.
So with the EPs, who produces it and what's your process? How's that all work for you?
So a couple of different ways. I've recently started working on collaborations, which I found really freeing. I feel like I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my songwriting, as musos would know. But what I do is I either bring full songs to my producers. I'm working with two great guys at the moment, Lewis Mattia and Dion Shaw. So I work individually with them as well as together. And sometimes I bring them full songs and we just produce the whole thing. And sometimes we'll sort of get together in a session and do a co-write and see what happens and make some magic, which is really cool. So that's how Convenient came to be. It was a co-write, and we all got in the room and we're like, we're writing about flowers. And we just sort of together and the boys are super fun to work with. So yeah, it's sort of depends. We go on with the day going, okay, are we writing something fresh or working on something that I've already got packed away? But I trust them and they like my music and support me in what I'm doing. So they always have their input's always really insightful and really useful, and I really trust their opinions. So it's really great to work with a team that's so I don't know, just feels so supportive and nice, and yeah, it's awesome. So I have so much fun in the studio. It's amazing.
You know, I'm thinking, like we're calling you pop, and the others, the country artists we've had on, they always seem to have a little festival here and a little thing there, and another little small festival here. Doesn't seem to be that much stuff for that other stuff, Rossi. Would you think? There's not really like what do you do if you're in that kind of genre?
Yeah, it's complex, isn't it? Because look, you've just got to throw it out there and see what happens, I guess. But like most of this stuff's tribal. Like
yeah.
Like,
get followed.
There's the there's that Triple J tribe, that sort of alt indie stuff, which I think you kind of want to try and jump over that, because if you get on Triple J and go spend too much time in there, you get landlocked to Australia.
Okay.
Good point.
That's the advice I've been given, actually, from people I've spoken to. Triple J, if you lean to it, but then again, ask Matt Corby. That worked pretty well for him, I guess.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. Like there's lots of hip hop soul. Well, the Soul Festival collapsed last week, didn't it? Sold out, collapsed. There's plenty of country stuff. There's plenty of regional stuff. But if you're living in the urban environment, it's really hard to sort of get your head to stick out above the crowd, because there's so many other people who'll cut your throat for a gig too, right?
Yeah,
I see you doing Black Bear Lodge and places like that as well.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. I think the gigs I've been able to get have been pretty solid, and always pretty good turnout. And I think the Brisbane industry is really supportive, and everyone sort of in here, like, they want to help each other, which is really nice. So yeah, I've got a few gigs next month, some solo, some with the band lined up, which is great. And so I think that's probably the best way to do it, is just to create lineups of artists that people, there's a lot of talk about and that people want to see, and just be on as many lineups.
Just play as much as you can. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
you're supporting Lily Grace, so Destroy All Lines are running that. So that's a good promoter to be in bed with because they're pretty good, right?
Absolutely. They're very good. So I was very excited to get that gig. She did one of those. She did one of those live. I'm looking for an act or whatever, and so I reached out to my followers, and heaps of people tagged me on the post, and I sent through my press kit and things to their team, and then they emailed me back, and they were like, "Oh,
that's a good gig to get. That's a really good gig to get."
Yeah, I'm stoked with it. I'm super excited. It'll be fun, and she's great, and her music is awesome. And she's in Nashville at the moment, and heading back over there after the tour. And
she's Bluebird Cafe.
Yeah, literally.
Bluebird.
Cool stuff.
Wow. So you do that as a band show or an acoustic show?
That will be an acoustic one. So I'll just be playing with guitar and keeping it simple for that one, which will be nice.
That's good.
I think I played a lot of. Yeah, it is good. I played a lot of band shows last year, and then at the very end of the year, I did a gig with So Far Sounds, and I just did it acoustically. And it was I was like, I forgot how nice it is to sometimes just strip it back and just play it how I wrote it. And it was really nice. So
you got the voice. You got the voice to carry it just with an acoustic guitar, and that's the way you weed out the really good songs from the ones that are just fillers. If it works just with you and the guitar.
But spoken like a true songwriter, played it like I wrote it. Yeah. I know.
That's it.
So
it can take on so many different forms, I think. So it's just it feels like you're telling a different story when you play it acoustically than with the band almost, which is crazy. Yeah.
It goes back thousands of years, that tradition, playing the guitar for the king or the queen or just you entertaining. That's the thing, Rossi.
Yeah. Except the difference is nowadays, if the king didn't like you back in the old days, you were quite likely to lose your head. So it's a little less. Little less.
I don't know. Social media has kind of got this in the face.
Yeah, social media is the king. Good point, Sienna.
So, as a young woman on social media, you get some help with social. You get help with the socials because I would suggest that sometimes you don't want to read the inbox or especially the requests.
No, I don't get any help. I do it all myself. But look. Some are better than others. I haven't really had anything go viral in that sense yet. So I feel like there's a lot worse to come. So I'm just sort of the things I find at the moment. I sort of just try and laugh them off. But damn, some people say some stuff.
They'll say stuff they'll never say to anyone else anywhere. It's just shameless.
They say stuff they would never say out loud, even to themselves.
My young fella had a TikTok vid that had 2.8 million views. And the comments are pretty incredible.
Oh, it's crazy. It's really
girls, it's harder.
Crazy.
It's worse.
Yeah.
It's worse.
Oh yeah. And one of my best friends is an amazing artist. She lives in Melbourne and she's gone viral quite a few times on TikTok and she just gets I was like, you're getting some good traction. She's like, yeah, it's all hate, but I was like, yeah, she's like, there's no one saying anything nice, but it's fine. At least it's, interaction. And I'm like,
what happened to manners? Where did the manners go?
You got to use that hate and turn it into,
Well, I figure if people hate enough to comment, then, they care enough, which means.
You've made an impact.
What it means is you're outside of your echo chamber. That means you're reaching outside of the people who dislike you or people who hate you. If you're getting hate, it means that that's what you want. I know it's a double-edged sword, but that's what you want. You want people to just go, shut up, stupid girl.
Yeah. I think one guy commented on one of my things. He was like, a face only a simp husband could love.
Oh. One of my favorites that Angus got was, shut up, you stupid.
You stupid. And you're like, what? Well, it's crazy. And nothing about the music, this guy, one guy commented Uggs. And I'm like,
ouch.
I'm like, what about the music?
You had a look, he's got 32 followers, right?
Literally, they're always the most random people ever.
Rossi,
who are you? And how did you find me?
I'd take any of those comments on one of my videos.
All I can say is
I'd take anything. Just one comment would be enough.
I'm,
I'll come in a bit ugly.
I don't care.
I'm very grateful that Sienna does her own socials, because that's the way we connected, and that's the way she ultimately came on the show. So very, very grateful for that. So one question from me, and I know Australia's in the grip of Australian Idol at the moment, and we see all the storylines. Has that been something that's crossed your mind, or a potential path for yourself? A show like The Voice or Aussie Idol?
It's definitely crossed my mind, and I am not against going for it. But at the same time, I think what I love, and I think what my gift, what I have to give, is the music with me. And those shows are great, but you don't get to sort of show the music you're writing, which I think is sort of maybe where my real talent lies. It's being able to connect with people through my voice with my song, rather than just singing a song, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Not that I wouldn't, and not that I don't think I think it's a great platform, and there are some phenomenal singers out there. I'm just not sure that it would work for me, because I wouldn't be showing what I think is my gift in that sense.
Yeah.
You are beyond it. You are past that. You need that. And anything you'd get out of that would be a sugar hit, and it doesn't. It's like, it
can be temporary. That kind of
very temporary, but also, I don't reckon you need it. I reckon you just keep doing what you're doing, stay the course, believe what you're doing, because you just be doing covers, and then you had to invent a backstory. You had to tell them about all the blokes that you didn't like. That's why you wrote songs about them and all this sort of stuff. It's just beyond it,
Yeah.
You got a great voice. You got really strong songs. Just keep doing it, and something will happen.
I'm really excited for this year, because I've got a huge plan for the year, and the songs I'm going to release and the things I'm doing, which is cool. So last year was like I definitely got the ball rolling more than I sort of have before, and I've got some good momentum, and I know what I'm doing. It sort of takes you a little while to, I guess, sort of find your stride and find what fits and feels good all the time. And the stuff I'm doing at the moment just always feels right, like I feel like I'm on that right path. So I'm like, I'm just gotta keep grinding and keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, just remember when you're in New York and you get up to get your Tony Award for the best musical performance, you just give a shout out to the boys.
That's what it is.
Best Broadway musical, best original screenplay. Broadway musical play, whatever.
We ask all our guests to do a shout out to the boys. We don't have to hear the Unfiltered, Undiscovered podcast. Just a shout out to the boys. We know what it's all about. Yeah,
I love that. That's great.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Oh, you're writing on my list of thank yous.
They'll probably think all those boys in the songs will probably think it's to them.
That's right.
There'll be some guy watching on the internet and go, "That's convenient."
Oh, that's
good, Ross.
I think
I love it.
it sounds so cliche, but I'm like, those boys have given me the songs, and they've given me the EP that's coming and the album that's coming after that, and
the best things to write about is stuff you know about. That's always the best. Literally.
And actually my mum and dad are very funny. They're like, Sienna, you're doing great, but you need to write a love song. Can you write a love song?
Yeah, they are.
I was like, no, I can write about what I know, Mum. I don't fix it isn't broken. I'm good. I was like, maybe
in a roundabout way, they are love songs.
They are love songs.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
They're weird. They're weirdly
it's all part of love.
Backhanded love.
Well, it's about love in some way, shape, or form. It's just that the guy was loving someone else or wasn't quite sure and
just
wasn't investing. Yeah.
Literally. Write a happy song, and I'm like, it's just I know what works for me right now, and I gotta lean into that.
There'll be happy songs.
Mate of mine in Sydney's got a band, John Kennedy, who he's now moved to Spain, but John Kennedy's band's called John Kennedy's Love Gone Wrong.
Oh, that
Sienna's
yeah.
bad relationship. The band.
That's a blast from the past, Rossi. Love gone
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah, absolutely.
It's still around.
Yeah.
It's just in Sydney, actually.
Who was the just totally off track here? Who was the guy that wrote about King Street in Newtown?
That's him, King of King
Yeah,
Street.
that's what I-
Yeah. John Kennedy.
Yeah, that's the only song in the world that mentions Cole's New World. So yeah, you gotta love it.
They keep it specific. That's what works.
People identify with it, that's the thing. So Sienna, when's the new song coming out?
So it hasn't been announced, but I believe it's going to be the 7th of March.
Another exclusive. We've done it again.
Exclusive we're getting here.
It just
And
happened.
we don't know the name of it though.
No, that's under wraps.
I thought I'd try. You never know.
I like Brady.
I'm sort of chatting with a couple of people at the moment, working out whether it's the 7th or the 14th. So we're sort of in the.
Okay, so
today or tomorrow it's going to be confirmed, and I was going to be like, "Damn it! I wish this was tomorrow, because then it'd be all announced, and I know what I'm doing." But that's fine.
So it's either the early or mid-March, so no doubt.
Hopefully early. That's the dream. One step at a time.
All right. So where can people find you, Sienna? Where's the best place? Where do you want people to head to?
Probably my Spotify or my Instagram, I'd say, which is just my name, Siena Larsson. It's Siena Larsson everywhere you find everything.
And it's a double S. And it's a double S, Larson.
The double S.
Not like
and one N Sienna.
One N Sienna.
One N double S.
I got caught out on that this morning. I went. Really? I typed Sienna, and our friends were discussing. I know it's one N, but I've typed two. I just couldn't help it. And Linktree's very good for that sort of thing too, because that's where people will see your next gigs and things like that as well. Linktrees are very good.
Yeah, it's good. I found that really, really helpful as well with the break music and stuff, because you can go on and vote. Like when I was on the charts, you could vote for my song and things, so people could find the link to that very easily and click on. And bless my mum, she was going around being like, "Vote for my daughter."
Yeah, we haven't mentioned that for a while. Make sure if any people are listening, when you go on there, click like and click follow. It's just so much helps everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, on Spotify and stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really, really does.
Well, Sienna, we'll be adding your songs to the Unfiltered and Undiscovered playlist, and
Fresh and Pierced.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've forgotten how many songs we've now got it, but every time we talk about a song, we throw it on the playlist, and it helps people find you. So, as Braggy was saying, if you loved the music, get on there, follow, like, share. All of those things that help our young artists get found, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And the new song, if you want to know the title, it's called Mr. Bad News.
Mr.
Bad News.
Oh,
Mr. Bad News. Yes. Another scoop.
Yeah. Scoop, dude. See, luckily, you're going to announce this tomorrow?
Tomorrow or the next day. So,
because this goes live Friday night, so we won't be breaking the embargo.
Oh,
there we go.
You know what? If I'm ever big enough to have leaked information, that's the dream. I'm always like, I can't announce it. I'm like, no, not yet. That doesn't matter. All publicity is good publicity.
Tony Scoop Curl. That's what you need.
I think
you need a little trilby with that thing in it.
Braggy's the scoop. Braggy's the one that keeps asking the question and whatever. So anyway, guys, we've been going for just under an hour. So Sienna, it's been absolutely amazing speaking with you today. You will always be welcome to come on the show whenever you want a chance to talk to us old fellas about music. Looking forward to hearing more about the Broadway musical now that we've popped the idea into your head. We expect that now. When we give out great ideas, we expect that to happen. So
shout out to
Sienna, shout out to the boys.
That's it.
Absolutely. So
it's been an honor, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys reaching out and doing this for artists and being this supportive of me and the music I'm making. And it's really, really nice. And very encouraging. So I appreciate it really, really greatly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think Braggy said it best when he said he doesn't understand why you're not huge now. So,
Yeah.
and all we can say is we wish you the best to achieve that. So,
Thank you, guys.
I mentioned it earlier. We've got Adele Oliver next week. She'll be talking all about the Kimberleys to Tamworth, as well as her new song, which is called Home Tonight. I'm really looking forward to catching up with Adele again. And you know, just that whole concept of writing songs out on the Kimberley is just an amazing visual for me, as always. And the following week, we're going to come back with our very next mystery song deep dive for the boys. So we'll see how they go. I won't, of course, they don't know what that song is going to be. They're just going to dissect it and tell us all about it. We're going to test their knowledge like never before. We get a lot of good feedback around our mystery song deep dive. I want to try and do one a month. So boys, Adele's next week. Tune up and get ready and get your training in place for the mystery song deep dive. Until next time, everyone, have yourself a very wonderful weekend, and we will see you all next week. Thanks again, Sienna, and see you, Braggy, and see you, Rossi.
Thanks, guys.
Buy me flowers, but not the kind he used to buy me. Take me dancing, but skip the songs he used to play me. Can you promise we won't get our coffee at the corner? I promise to forget he called me baby. This is new for me. Anxiety's not who I used to be. I'm trying to undo what he's done to me. Would that help you love me more easily? 'Cause I'm a package deal. Trust issues, don't know how to heal. Running from you, it can be easy. Do you want to leave 'cause you didn't sign up for someone like me? I'm a package deal. Overthinking how I really feel. Everything's triggering. If we broke up, would you be relieved 'cause you didn't sign up for someone like me? I trust you, but my head says I'm not allowed to. When your phone rings, is it someone you would rather talk to? You trust me, so you gave me a house key. But I still wait outside for you to come get me. This is new for me. Anxiety's not who I used to be. I'm trying to undo what he's done to me. Would that help you love me more easily? 'Cause I'm a package deal. Trust issues, don't know how to heal. Running from you, it can be easy. Do you want to leave 'cause you didn't sign up for someone like me? I'm a package deal. Overthinking how I really feel. Everything's triggering. If we broke up, would you be relieved 'cause you didn't sign up for someone like me? Sweet but scared, lost but I love her. Hot and cold but friends with your mother. Cynical psycho, knows how to drive though. Wants to connect but can't let her head go. Warm but well, you speak so gently. Keeps it all in 'cause feelings are scary. That leave me too, I guarantee. 'Cause I wouldn't sign